Hey, Mad Dad here. This video is for parents who want to establish or modify their custody case to joint physical custody. You've either, joint physical custody, joint legal custody, both of them. Or more importantly, I'm gonna focus a little bit more on joint physical custody. Um, this is this is for parents who pretty much you guys are dealing with a situation. I hope you never have to go to court, but if you do, you need to be prepared. But you're dealing with a situation where the other parent is just not being reasonable with the fact of the fact that you want to see your kid more, not being reasonable with the fact that the kid wants to see you more, not being reasonable with the fact that you guys are both parents and the child is not a piece of property, or animal. The child has feelings. The child needs to be nurtured by both parents. So you have, as a last resort, you have to go to court. I want you to basically go to court and know what you're doing, and all this information, is just, just my own way of doing things. I'm not an attorney, so consult an attorney, but this information, is pretty dead on, But anyway, so this video, hopefully, um, it will help you. I want to give you some information that will help you, obtain your goal of getting that joint physical custody, joint legal custody. You probably already have joint legal custody, but you want to have joint physical custody, So I think that it'd be good for you to just listen up, Now um, for things, like I said, it'll be what, I'm moving too fast, all right? Now, there are two things that you really should, two real important things that you should know about that that you should know about that would affect your ability to get joint legal, joint legal, joint physical custody. Okay, one thing would be the proximity between you and the other parent and you, or you and the other in the school. Okay, that's one thing. You want to make sure that I say, within a good 10-mile radius, of the other parent or the school. Okay, you want to make sure that you can get the child to and from school without making the kid late, or the kid having to wake up extra early just to get to school on time. Get dressed, have breakfast, all that good stuff. Um, Another thing is that the other thing is that you want to make sure that you do not, you are able to, not do not, you are able to keep up with the child's routine and schedule. If the kid or your children have a routine or schedule that they are exercising at certain times, you want to make sure that you can keep up with their routine and schedule. You want to make sure that you can work around the kid's schedule, not the kid work around your schedule. Okay, and same thing goes for the other parent too, the primary parent, the custodial parent. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to make sure those two things, you're good with those two things before even approaching the court with seeking physical custody, or more visitation with the child. So now a couple other things I want to let you know. A couple other things that are important that you should know. I think one thing is that in order for just because, well, let me say this here like this. Uh, Joint physical custody does not mean that the co-parenting time, the time the shared time, the shared time with the child, the time with the child is like 50-50, as a term that you guys, that people like to use. Not, it's not, week on, week off. 1 week with me, 1 week. Now it can be, but in some cases, in a lot of cases, it's not. It doesn't have to be. Okay, it's basically whatever the judge, whatever. I'm not going to say whatever the judge decides. It's basically whatever suits the situation at hand. Okay, sometimes the person may have one parent may have the kid during the week, Monday through Friday, and then the other parent have them every week, or every other weekend, or they may have some visitation during the week and then have some weekdays, whatever the case may be. But um, it doesn't necessarily have to be 50-50, okay, or a week on, week off, or whatever, whatever you want to put it, okay. Another thing is that it's important to know, and I'm gonna stress this, man. Don't be trying to do this for to lower your child support. You know what I mean? I mean, really though, that's a weasel ass way of trying to do things. Don't try to go and get more time with the kid just to lessen your child support. Now, that is one of the things that may come along, a benefit that may come along with you getting more time with your child, but that should not be your goal. You understand what I'm saying? You should not try to get more time with your kid just to lessen the amount of child support that you pay. You get what I'm saying? That's a weasel ass way of trying to do things. So another thing is, let me think. Is there another thing is with visitation? Before I get into it. With visitation, it's like another thing is that you. Hmm, let me think in regards. Oh, with visitation, okay, with visitation, um, like I'm gonna go back to when I was saying something about you don't have 50-50, or week on, week off in regards to the visitation thing, right? Um, I want to tell you, like, in regards to just my impression, okay, my impression of what freaking visitation versus physical custody, okay. Visitation is, I think that visitation is more so like one-on-one time you spend with the kid. You understand? If you get like visitation of, like, you go and spend a little, you with your kid, like on the weekend, Saturday to Sunday, and then you got to take the kid back to the house, Monday through Friday or whatever the case may be, and you really don't have no say so. You just got visitation. You get to see the kid, mingle with the kid, or whatever. But custody, physical custody, is like when, again, this is just my impression, consult an attorney, whatever. But physical custody is like you um, when you have like when you have say so as far as what goes on during the time that you're spending with your child. Okay, so for example, let me give you an example. So, for example, let me say something like this, like if you have, like, let's say if you going to Chuck E. Cheese, okay, you got a little party at Chuck E. Cheese or something, your little cousin, some having a little birthday party or whatever, you bring your baby or whatever, and you just have visitation set up, you don't have no physical custody. And let's say your kid is like 6 years old, and your kid want to go, ask you, Daddy, can I go over, or Mama, can I go over to Auntie house and spend a night? Can I go over there? If you just have visitation, you would have to basically, in my impression of it, okay, if you just have visitation, you have to basically go and tell, you have to tell your kid, well, let me call your mama and find, or call your daddy or whoever, let me find, or your guardian, whoever the hell, okay, let me call them, and let me ask them if you can go and do this, okay? That's if you have visitation, So then you got to call the person with custody to just be like, hey, I want the kid to, go do this. Can he do it? You understand? Or can she do it? Whatever. That's with visitation. Now with custody, I think that it's my impression. What I think of it, what I get from it. Okay, is that with custody, just run that same scenario down. Kid go to Chuck E. Cheese, boom, want to go spend a night at Auntie house, spend a little time, woo, woo, woo. If you have custody and you just have like Saturday to Sunday, okay, and you have custody, you're able to say, yeah, you can go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead. You go ahead. I'll let you go over there, and hell, I'll go to the house and I'll pick you up in the morning. You understand? That's with physical custody. You ain't got to pick up the phone and call the person with whoever custody and see. Nor do you need to turn around and call them because you got joint custody. You need to call them and say, hey, we got joint custody. We need to discuss this before. No, You are expected to do and look out for the child's best interest while the kid is physically in your care, okay, while you have custody, and the other parent is expected to do the same thing. That's just it. You understand? So, in my opinion, um, that's the difference between, having visitation and having custody, physical custody. So, but now let me go get into it. Now, if you getting back to it, if you're finding it difficult to, um, sorry, if you're finding it difficult to basically work with the other parent, and in regards to trying to increase your time with the child, um, what and you have to go to court. One of the main things you'll want to do is you'll want to file your request for order. Now, this is only for Cali, only for California. You understand? And this is for anybody who just needs some assistance, man. You know what I mean? But anyway, so you'll file request for order. Okay, again, consult with an attorney, whatever. All right, but you'll file a request for order. Okay, you'll file a request for order to either establish, to either get orders for physical custody or to modify your custody, from sole to joint. You understand? Now you'll file a request for order, and you will ask that you will seek a 3111 evaluation. Okay, now a 3111 evaluation is basically it's just only for the state of California, but it is used by the courts to determine the custody and visitation rights of like the other parent, the non-custodial parent. Okay, it's just to basically give it's to just determine give the court some insight. Now what happens is now you consult an attorney, in this regard, but it's not the same thing. Some folks will want to try to do a 730 evaluation. To me, just my own opinion. Again, I'm not an attorney, consult an attorney, whatever. Okay, but typically it takes less time for a 3111 than it does a 730 evaluation, and it's less money. Okay, and it's less in depth. Okay, yeah, but it gets the job done. Okay, it gets the job done. It gives the courts what they need in order to make proper orders that are in the child's best interest. And I think that that's ultimately the goal. You understand? Now, let me think. In your request, let me see. Like in your request for the 3111, you can ask for all sorts of things. You can ask for the inspections of the houses of the homes so that they can see what how the kid will be living. How the kid's currently living at the other child's house. It's very important that you can keep up with the same standard of living that the child is accustomed to at the other parent, at the custodial parent's house, either at that level or higher. Okay, so if you can do more, if you can do just as much as the other parent, the custodial parent, or you can do better, then that's great for the kid. Okay, but getting back to it, it's like you can ask for that, that the kid, that they evaluate the homes. You can ask that the kids be interviewed. You ask that they check out the schools in both locations. You can ask pretty much for all sorts of things. Okay, if you can just you just outline that in your declaration, your request for the 3111 evaluation. Okay, now if you start to get this done, expect to spend some money. You understand? It's gonna take you a couple dollars. Okay, so don't try to file no fee waiver, acquire broke. Don't do none of that. All right. Save your little tokens or whatever, your little money for your J's, and say you'll save whatever. Borrow some money, do whatever, man. Man, look, do whatever it takes to get your bread, to go get to get more time with your kid or whatever the case may be. Okay. Typically, it's gonna run you like in between. I've seen it be like 1,500. I've seen it be 2 G's. I've seen it be 25, 3. Really determines on the extent, and basically because the 3111. Let me get back to it. The 3111 is it's the courts allowing a private mediator or a private not a social worker, but I'll say the person is a mediator to basically go and assess the situation. You get what I'm saying? So, however in depth you ask that the situation be assessed, prepare to pay for it. Now, in a lot of cases they say, oh, it could cost up to like 20,000. Man, nah, it ain't gonna cost you that much. I ain't seen it cost nobody that much. Shit, your kids ain't that special, okay? whatever, all kids are important, but man, your kids ain't that special. We're gonna cost you 20 G's unless you famous or something or whatever the case may be. Y'all just got that dough to spend, but it's not gonna cost. It should not cost that much. 1,500, whatever. Now, the thing is that the other parent, the custodial parent, more than likely is gonna try to cry broke, try to cry that they don't want to pay, they don't whatever. You just gonna have to fork up the money to get it done, and then try to get your money back through maybe credits to your child support, and you can just petition the courts for that. File another request for order and ask that you get credit for that monies, or sometimes even the judge, or commissioner will possibly order that anyway if the other person is reluctant in paying. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna file your FL 311, your FL 300. You're gonna go in there and put on there that you want to change custody or you want to establish custody, mark the proper boxes, whatever. You're gonna ask for a 3111 evaluation in the other little box, and then you're going to basically put in your declaration all this stuff. Okay, you're gonna save your money with anticipation. Now, expect to go to court about 2 or 3 times. Okay, if the other party hires an attorney, expect you to go to court about 3 times. If it's just whatever, it's going to be about, expect to go 2 or 3 times, and expect it to take about 6 months, 6 to 9 months. Okay, be patient. Continue your visitation. Continue your child support if you have a child support. Do all that stuff, and don't turn around and get all emotional and stuff, and lose focus. Just go ahead, write it. Now, what's real good, what's important, and what would be beneficial to you would be to um, would be to provide a supplemental. Like, let's say if you go to court, okay, and you and the other party have been demonstrating custody or visitation. You've been, he or she has been giving you more time with the child. The custodial parent's been giving you more time with the child than what's on paper. Okay, but then after you file your information, you get what I'm saying. They kind of pull back, and they kind of like, oh no, my kid don't want to. My kid don't want to. Such and such don't want to spend. Such and such don't want to spend as much time, or they just start restricting your time. You want to make the courts aware of that. Okay, so what you want to do is, it's good to provide a calendar. Okay, a calendar, and attach it to your declaration as an attachment. Okay, um, you want to keep a calendar like last 6 months. Okay, and from the time that you file or the time that the person is served that information, you want to document that your time has either increased, decreased, or stayed the same. Okay, you want to go ahead and doc that. And what you want to do is, the longer that it takes you to get to court, provide supplementals, update about what's been going on since the last hearing. You understand? That will be very helpful. Now, if you need more information, you need somebody to help you out with the paperwork and all that stuff, contact me. Okay, you can go ahead and Google me or whatever the case may be. Xavier Marshall, SoCal United, whatever. You can contact me. You can call my consultation line, 951 582 4184. You can go ahead and get at me those 2 ways. I prefer to talk to you in person rather than over the phone. So you can hit my office up, 4192 Brockton, Suite 203, Riverside, 92501. Okay, so just get at me, if you need some assistance. But if you need to consult an attorney, by all means do so. You understand? I have attorneys that I work with, but you can pick up the phone and just get an experienced attorney that you feel comfortable with, and go after it. But you should watch my video on what to do in regards to attorney. Watch my video about the limited scope attorneys, and watch my video about what to look out for, or what you should do before hiring an attorney. Okay, so hopefully this stuff you find very helpful, and you use this information wisely. And again, going to court is the last thing you want to do. You understand? The going to court is the last thing you want to do. You don't want to be a puppet for the system. You understand? But when you do have to go to court, It's good that you have the proper tools, um, you know, and at your disposal, so that you carry along what well, and you don't screw nothing up. All right. So you have a good one. Hopefully, this information you found helpful. You take care. Have a good one.